Sports Center on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam.
Keep up to date with all the latest going on in high school athletics across the region by heading to the sports tab at dailydodge.com. Local scores, interviews, and more.
Attention Dodge County area nonprofits. Do you support children and families in need? Then now's the time to apply for the 2026 Good Karma Brands John Moser Children's Radiothon. For over 25 years, the Radiothon has raised millions of dollars to help local organizations like yours make a real difference. Deadline is January 31st. Apply today on the Radiothon page at dailydodge.com and be part of something powerful for our kids and community.
Hey, it's Brad Nortman from KBN. You're listening to 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, WBEVAM, Beaver Dam, Dodge County, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time for the Dam Sports Show, presented by Real Sports Cards in Waupun, featuring Mr. Smooth himself.
My who's hot is Wally.
Yeah, that's fair.
Smoking hot.
Corey Sparks, and a real athlete.
I am an athlete. I am going to show up and dominate.
Wally Lukaczynski, covering everything Titletown and pro college and high school sports around South Central Wisconsin. Here are these heroes, really heroes.
Just proving the hero that I am, just in the nick of time to be tortured for all of your enjoyments at home.
Okay, here are these heroes now. Broadcasting live on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, Daily Dodge TV, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Hello and happy Tuesday, everybody. The NFL trade deadline came and went, and the Brewers did more than the Packers did. We will go over Green Bay's quiet trade deadline. Was it the right move to essentially stand pat with the state that the team is in right now? Again, life's pretty good still. I know the loss to the Carolina Panthers wasn't ideal, but 5-2-1 atop a very competitive NFC North division that has no sub-500 teams. We'll also check in with Matt LaFleur's decision on whether or not to go forth with Brandon McManus as the starting kicker in at least the short term after he went 2 for 3 in the 16-13 defeat against the Carolina Panthers. Next segment with no Tucker Kraft, who on this offense needs to step up the most. That's one of the most important questions for this team going forward. Offense hasn't exactly been humming at times in terms of red zone conversion, and now they lose arguably their best red zone target in Tucker Kraft, who needs to step up in his absence. Yay or nay on Carter Smith, talking about the Badgers football team, of course, as they'll be going up against another ranked opponent. Washington's been playing so good, they cracked the AP top 25 going into this week. So yet another ranked opponent on the opposing sideline. It will be at Camp Randall. So we'll have some words from Barry Alvarez regarding whether or not it is wise to start the true freshman under center. And because it is Tuesday, we wrap up with Fill in the Damn Blank here on the Damn Sports Show on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, Daily Dodge TV, and the ESPN Wisconsin app. We have our wonderful audio producer in the 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam production studios. That is Jack Wilski, alongside Wally Lukaczynski. I'm Corey Sparks here in the Daily Dodge TV studios. Wally, quiet, not a whole lot of moves from the Packers. In terms of trades, actually none today. I'm not shocked, are you?
No, especially with the way the NFL trade deadline is. It usually feels like there's about 2 or 3 high-profile trades, and then a few of your day 3 picks going off.
We had the high-profile trades today.
We had high-profile trades, and I know that there's 2 fan bases out there that seemed like every 15 minutes you look down and your phone was blowing up. It was New York Jets fans, New Orleans Saints fans. But the Packers did stay relatively quiet, and I don't think that's too much of a surprise to either you or me.
No, and I don't think, before we open up the phone lines, 920-887-9595 is our talk and text line. We are on the Daily Dodge TV YouTube channel, so you can go in the live chat as well. Do you think it was a good idea for the Packers to stay put at the trade deadline today? 2 things. One, there's no doubt in my mind the right players are in place. These games are not won on paper, but from a talent perspective, even without Tucker Kraft, this is an extremely loaded team. If you want to get nitpicky and say the secondary is thin, that's fine. Obviously, the tight end position is less ideal than it was 48 hours ago before Tucker Kraft got the bad news that his ACL was torn yesterday, or torn on Sunday, found out yesterday. But here is the thing. So one, I think the right players are in place. 2, I think we always get caught up, because there are some frustrated fans out there, and I understand that. We all get caught up in the NFL trade deadline day being the encapsulation of a team's activity in the trade market. You know who the Packers traded for technically ahead of the trade deadline? Micah Parsons. It was a couple of months ago. It's not new, but it was still the sexy move of the offseason that nobody expected, especially as the preseason went on. He seemed disgruntled in Jerry's world, but it didn't seem like Green Bay would be the team in the running. And even Jason Wilde, when he came on our program shortly after those rumors started to surface, said, maybe 3-4% chance. That even feels optimistic. But I don't want us to get caught up in the whirlwind of the trade deadline and use the last 24 hours, heck, even the last 4-6 hours, as the encapsulation of the Packers trade activity, because it's not. They went out and got the best pass rusher, arguably, if you want to say Myles Garrett's above him, fine, in the entire league, when one of their primary concerns was pass rushing. So they were not quiet in the trade market. They were just quiet today. They didn't go up against the buzzer.
That's a really good way to look at it, too, because when you look at what you brought in with Micah Parsons, you've been able to feel, even when he has those zeros pop up in the stat column, so many things occur with this defense. Rashawn Gary, his monumental year so far, which I don't think many of us expected. Maybe we hoped it would happen, but I don't think that many of us thought he'd be on pace for nearly 20 sacks through the first half of the year. And yeah, they're a little quiet now, but they took a shot with Nate Hobbs. They brought him in after letting Stokes go in the offseason. That didn't work out. So if there was going to be a move today, it was going to be for corner. It's just really, I felt like that the actual standard to get a high-profile corner was set so early today with the Sauce Gardner trade too, that even if you were going to go out there and get a guy like Cam Taylor-Britt or Avonte Taylor,
might be a day 2 pick.
You would probably going to have to give up like a third rounder, and I don't think that Goody, we know his history with trading picks, that was a little too rich for their blood. And right now, I mean, you are 5-2-1, and it's the weirdest spot to be because you really haven't underachieved, but you probably haven't hit where you thought you could through the first half of the year, especially where the schedule doesn't look as scary in the first half that we thought it might have in the beginning part of the year. Now the last 9 games, I mean, the last 7, you have 5 divisional opponents. Everything's in front of you. That's good and bad. You're going to have to go out there and win some football games on the field to get a division title. So do you think that there was anything to the fact that you lose this last week that dampens a little bit of the aggressiveness that maybe Goody could have felt going in? Maybe he does pull the reins on a second or third round pick?
Yeah, possibly, right. I know Jason Wilde was bringing up the idea, too, that for the first time in a while, Goody left a draft with not more than the amount of, usually he'll leave the draft with more draft picks than he entered it with. That was not the case. Broke a couple of streaks this year, spending a first-round pick on Matthew Golden, a wide receiver for the first time in over 20 years, and not compiling those back-end, late day 2, throughout day 3 picks. Goody didn't really do that. So, yeah, they'd be 6-1-1. I could see them being a little more sellish, like, here's a role player, we'll take your picks. I will say this, the one thing I am wondering that could have resulted in the Packers either getting probably a day 3 pick. I'm going to, in my non-professional opinion, say he'd be worth like a 4th rounder. The one thing I'm shocked the Packers did not do, and I'm wondering if the Packers would have done this if their receiving core was healthier, is trade Romeo Doubs. And I'm wondering in 2 different scenarios. If Tucker Kraft doesn't go down with the ACL tear, Romeo Doubs probably gets traded, right? Maybe. If Jaden Reed was healthy at this point as well, and Kraft never went down with the ACL, I think Doubs is definitely traded, right? Because you're not extending him past this 4th year. Everything we've been told from Gabe Neitzel, from Jason Wilde, who joins us twice a week, is that even though the Packers have done everything PR-wise, as well as Romeo Doubs, honestly, we haven't heard a peep about it, to bury the hatchet from the situation a year ago. Of course, referring to the fact that Romeo did not show up to practice, did not show up to work, had to get a wellness check, and there was suspicion that it was because of his lack of involvement in the offense, which we're having issues with someone else now, and Matthew Golden, although we haven't gotten to that point yet. That stuff still comes up when everybody sits down at the round table and goes, all right, your contract's up. Do we want you on the football team going forward? Do you think this guy is worth the financial investment, whatever he may be valued at? So I was kind of shocked. Not shocked, but I started wondering if Kraft and or Reed were healthy, would Romeo Doubs be on this football team right now? I'll ask Jason this tomorrow, but probably not, and that's probably the move they would have made. Whether or not it would be for a 4th rounder or a 5th rounder or a piece in the secondary where the Packers are thin right now, I don't know, but do you think Romeo's on this team if the receiving core is in a bit of a healthier state than they are right now?
I think if Tucker Kraft is healthy, it makes it easier because of the red zone targets.
Yeah.
Because right now, your way of scoring when you get into the red zone is either Tucker Kraft, Josh Jacobs, or Romeo Doubs. Mm-hmm. And if you take away Doubs and Kraft, someone's going to have a massive step up down there in the red zone. Now, I don't know if it's there right now on this team. They struggle when they get into that 20-yard line and in. It's so hard. There's not as much space. You need that physical body. You need somebody like Tucker Kraft who thrives in that setting, or a guy like Romeo Doubs where he gets open in that part of the field. If Tucker Kraft and Jaden Reed's on the team right now, you're 100% right. I think he's probably playing in Pittsburgh. He could be in Seattle. Hell, he could be in New York. It doesn't matter.
Pittsburgh would make a lot of sense.
Pittsburgh, it felt like even going into the year, there was noise that they wanted to get another kind of, second wide receiver, especially moving off George Pickens the way they did. Mm-hmm. But they don't have to now, and for better or worse, Romeo Doubs is going to be critical if this Packers team is going to make to the NFC Championship game, because to me, it feels like there is going to be heads roll if this team either A, doesn't win a division title, and if you don't win a division title, you have to be there in the NFC Championship game. And there's a good chance that you're going to need both to happen unless you're going to see some different faces in there in some capacity.
I like that you brought up the importance of having a primary red zone target, because if it's not Tucker Kraft, just looked it up, it objectively is Romeo Doubs. He leads all wide receivers with 10 red zone targets, only 5 receptions, but that's kind of the nature of his game, the 50-50 ball. He goes up and comes down with it, strong hands. Savion Williams is 4 for 4 on 4 targets. Jaden Reed has 1 target, obviously injury. Dontavion Wicks has a pair of targets, and Matthew Golden has a pair of targets in the red zone. So Doubs is running away with that title, with 10 of them. Another headline and another divisive topic in Packerland right now, we'd love to hear from you on this as well, 920-887-9595, is surrounding Brandon McManus. And Big Jim had called in last week saying, hey, I think it's a bit early to start calling for the guy's job. And I wasn't necessarily doing that, but saying I think it's a little peculiar that Brandon McManus and Matt LaFleur were and still are in different areas on the severity of this injury. Matt LaFleur has been waving the red flag, going, this is pretty tough. It looks like more than just a nagging injury. I'm severely concerned at the status of my kicker and whether or not he's going to be able to go. And McManus has essentially been shrugging it off to say, no big deal. And McManus has played the last 2 weeks, and now he's gone 4 for 7. And now he's 11 of 16, under 70%. Yes, there is a block in there and some longer range field goals on the season. So before we talk about whether or not McManus is close to at least temporarily losing that kicking spot to someone on the bench who has a 61-yarder that he's converted, here is Matt LaFleur on the outlook of McManus' job as K1 or kicker 1.
He didn't kick for 2 straight weeks, but that's a process working through. But we felt confident in terms of what we've been seeing out at practice and just his ability to make them, because that's where it all starts for us. I mean, and he's been doing a great job in practice, and unfortunately, he missed the shorter of I know he had 3 kicks, but unfortunately he missed the shorter one and hit the longer one.
And I get it. Practice is the reference point for a coaching staff to say this is our guy or this is not our guy, and we're going to go a different direction for the week. But pressure is what the kicking position is built on. There is more pressure mounting during a game. Hell, it's the whole reason that coaches have devised a strategy called icing the kicker, where they take a timeout and make him think a little more between the ears before attempting it for a second or a third or a fourth time if you conserve enough of those. So the argument that McManus has been looking good in practice but not good in games, I'd rather have it be the other way. I know you would feel kind of anxious going, he didn't look too good from outside of 45 yesterday, but if he drills him in game, who the hell cares?
Well, it's just so weird that you go back to 3 weeks ago, and it was that war that you mentioned that LaFleur was saying, I'm really worried about this. This is a leg on a kicker who's never really had injury concerns in his career. And naturally, McManus, I think, feels a little bit of the pressure. Not to say he's an old kicker. Kickers can go until they're in their 40s. But he's getting up there. And he understands that there are only X amount of opportunities in this league. There's 32 starting jobs. And right now, he's in one of those 32. He wants to be on the football field. You got to protect your players from yourself.
Yeah.
If he truly was worried about him as an injury, you throw him out there on that awful turf last week. He misses a couple kicks. Now it's in his head. He misses the short one in the 43-yarder last week. I get that they're saying that these are getting to be longer kicks. They're making them in the NFL. You got to make it. And now this is 2 straight weeks. The vote of confidence, that's great. That's really cool. But if this happens again, at some point, you're going to have a real problem, and it was a problem that really might have been created in-house.
If you have to give a vote of confidence, it means there is doubt somewhere, whether it's outside noise, the media, or there is speculation that you have some in-house. The fact that he has to go forward and clarify means someone's asking that question. Someone's saying, hey, I've noticed McManus is teetering in a very dangerous range in terms of how accurate he's been on your football team as someone who's under contract for the next 2.5 years. I hope there's more to the story, but if McManus somehow convinced and slithered his way back onto the football field, this is complete malpractice. Like, complete malpractice. If the guy isn't healthy and the team allowed him to go out there as a member on the active roster, it's bad for 2 reasons. The most important one is health. Long term, it's the quad. It looks like something that's agitating, but if you continue to let it wean and regress and get worse going into the playoffs, it's not good. And 2, you're jeopardizing games. All 3 non-wins have been determined by 3 points or less. 3 points, 3 points, and obviously the tie against Dallas. And I don't want to just sit here and point the finger at him, because this is exactly what teams will do after games. They'll go, no, it's every single play. It's a culmination. Sometimes it does just come down to the kicker at the end. But the fact of the matter is, the games that the Packers have lost have been by very thin margins, and he has not been, bless you, a very accurate kicker. So it does come down to whether or not you want someone out there who, sure, is under contract for the next couple of years, but if you're so confident that he's your guy going forward, what's the harm in giving it over to the backup and letting him be 100% healthy? But now, as you would say, we've opened up Pandora's box by declaring, yeah, he's healthy enough. Let's put him out there. I'm sure there's a little fear in there going, if we put him back on the sideline, that noise is going to get exponentially louder.
And all 3 of those losses, too, you're talking about missed kicks in those losses.
Yeah.
So you had the direct block that led to the winner in the Cleveland game. The following week, you have an extra point blocked, return for 2 points. You end up tying that game against Dallas. And then last week, not only does he miss a 43-yarder, I'm interested, and I don't think Coach LaFleur, even if it was in the back of his mind, would ever say anything about it. You go for it on 4th and 8 with 11 minutes to go in the 4th quarter against Carolina instead of kicking what should be a chip shot field goal. Is there any part of him in his head where he's just like, you know what? I don't know. He's already missed one today. Why even take a shot and go out there? We can tie the game in theory if we convert on 4th and 8 here. I want to know if that was even in the back of his mind a little bit on Sunday, because that's 3 games now.
Yeah, I've thought about that. That would have been like an extra point.
It would have been an extra point.
But he has missed one, and he has been blocked. He's come out lower. He's shanked him. Yeah, I think if you have a guy who hasn't missed a kick all year, or you have someone who is, 15 of 16 at this point, it gets a little easier to just say, let's take the points. But yeah, there's definitely a conversation to be had there. Do you believe McManus is a game away? I think that's the way we'll go with this, from at least being sidelined. I don't want to say losing his job, because the Packers are financially tied to him. So, unless it gets really, really bad. 920-887-9595. You can call in, text in, or go into the live chat on the Daily Dodge TV YouTube channel. When we come back, more Packers talk. A very important question. Who needs to step up more than anybody else now that Tucker Kraft is out for the season with an ACL tear? Taking your calls, taking your texts, taking your chats. Next, this is the Damn Sports Show on 1430 ESPN and Daily Dodge TV.
If you've met your healthcare deductible for the year, scheduling a surgery, screening, or checkup with Watertown Regional Medical Center today could save you a lot of money. Your out-of-pocket expenses.
Attention sports fans. Whether you're chasing the hottest rookie card, that next big autographed sports card, or looking for expert card services, Real Sports Cards is here for you. For everything from sports to Pokemon cards, visit the store in downtown Waupun today. Go to the Apple Store or Google Play and download the Real Sports Cards app for all live online card breaks. Watch, collect, and win from anywhere. Real Sports Cards, where sports fans come to play.
holiday meals.
New Pella windows from Hometown Glass and Improvement do more than just boost your home's curb appeal. They boost energy efficiency and save you money. Say goodbye to drafts and hello to lower energy bills. With Pella windows, your home stays comfortable year-round. Hometown Glass and Improvement will help you through the selection process and make installation easy. Your satisfaction guaranteed. Visit Hometown Glass and Improvement showroom in Beaver Dam or online at hometownglass.com.
Your smile says a lot about who you are. Hi, I'm Dr. Adam Forster from Columbus Family Dental. Your smile can warm a room, brighten someone's day, and make you feel unstoppable. At Columbus Family Dental, we're committed to unlocking the confidence that comes from an unforgettable grin. Family dental, orthodontics, implants, and more. We offer everything dental under one roof. Columbus Family Dental is now accepting every kind of smile. Call us today for a free, no-pressure consultation at 623-5559.
Brace yourselves. Winter is coming. Don't wait for the cold to hit. JB Mechanical is here with expert heating services for both homes and businesses, keeping you warm all season long. Want more control over your comfort? Ask them about programmable and Wi-Fi thermostats designed to fit your schedule and lifestyle. With flexible maintenance plans and financing options, staying cozy has never been easier or less stressful. Schedule your service today at jbmechllc.com. Proud to be your local Train dealer, because nothing runs like a train.
At Gruber Law Offices, we take great pride in helping those who have trusted us after a serious accident. Our team has the knowledge, resources, and experience to get you the results you deserve. Don't wait to get the help you need. Make the right call. Call Gruber Law Offices today. Proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
Let's hear from Stacy with Slumberland and find out what's going on at their locations in Beaver Dam and Watertown.
Hey, it's Stacy with Slumberland, Beaver Dam and Watertown. Our mega sale's going on, and you can save up to 50% off of list prices. This Kyla sofa is only $399 in a beautiful gray, and you can get the matching chair for as little as $99. Check out this $149 Windsor accent chair, available in 3 colors to make any room of your home beautiful. Our Lazy Boy chairs start off at only $399, and you can pick and choose your color. Check out this Pinnacle Rocker recliner as little as $699 and choose from hundreds of fabrics at no additional cost. Or choose your style with chairside tables. $129 gets you 3 different chairside tables just to accent any room that you need. Our mega sale is going on right now at Slumberland Furniture, Beaver Dam and Watertown.
Sports, spice, and occasionally nice. You're tuned in to Corey and Wally on the Damn Sports Show, presented by Real Sports Cards in Waupun, Dodge County's local sports show on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam.
If you are looking for a one-stop shop for all things sports cards, head on over to Real Sports Cards in Waupun or check out their app. Whether you're into sports cards or Pokemon, Real Sports Cards has you covered. With live breaks streaming right on the app, you can grab individual cards on the go, be a part of a group, and watch for your favorite players and teams as the packs get open. Go to the Apple or Google Play Store today, look for the orange logo, and take your collection to the next level with Real Sports Cards, your local resource for all things sports cards, Pokemon cards, and more.
I still want a Tucker Kraft card. I like the way he plays football. He's got a fun nickname, Kraft Mac and Cheese. Unfortunately, the torn ACL is not great. But yes, you can stop over there at Real Sports Cards in Waupun. You can download the Real Sports Cards app, monitor those live breaks, and be a part of that great community. Speaking of Tucker Kraft, yeah, we got the unfortunate news that he's out for the season yesterday with a torn ACL. The MRI confirmed that on his birthday, which, talk about adding insult to injury. Who on the offense, this begs the question, needs to step up now that Green Bay may be adapting a few things in Kraft's absence? And Wally, before I hand it off to you, I'd be shocked if you said it. I'm not expecting you to name off a different tight end that they've named today. Again, no offense to Josh Wiley, or I think McKellen Castle was a name in there. John Fitzpatrick gets elevated to the tight end 2 spot. He'll be on the field more. He'll get more snaps to complement Luke Musgrave, I assume. But who do you expect to take over some of that, maybe not all, but some of that production that the Packers will be missing with Kraft sideline for the rest of the year.
Your intuition was right. It will not be one of those three tight
no
ends.
disrespect. I'm sure they're great guys. Maybe they'll shock us. I'll gladly go.
Talk about a great scenario. All of a sudden, with these practice squad elevations, turns into like the guy that saves the offense. I don't think it'll be one of them. I think it's going to be a joint tandem of Christian Watson and Matthew Golden. I know it looks like we're going to have a caller that's going to be having their own pick here in a second. You know what? I'll be polite. I'll divert over to our caller, and I'll save mine for a bit.
There we go. 920-887-9595, your way into the damn sports show. And that is Big Jim. Big Jim, how are you?
Well, you're a gentleman and a scholar, Wally.
That's very kind of you. Very kind of you, Big Jim.
I got a couple of things.
Sure.
First off, this is the one that I thought of before I listened to you guys.
Okay.
Is they have to do something to shore up the inside run defense. Because if not, if I'm an opposing offensive coordinator, I don't care what my regular offense is. I'm going to run the ball straight up the middle, and I'm going to check down Charlie on them all day, and I'm going to do exactly what the Carolina Panthers did. I'm going to keep the ball most of the game. I'm going to keep Love off the field and that offense off the field. They have to get teams in third and long, or all this money that they have invested on the outside rushing the passer is a waste. They have to get teams in third and long. They have to get teams to throw the ball downfield. And the Panthers had no reason to.
Well, Big Jim, question for you. Are you not, last week was enough for you to panic on the rush? They were top 5 going into Carolina. They didn't look good on Sunday, but that was enough for you to think that this is going to be a problem when you get to January?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm worried about Philadelphia for sure because they're a team, even though they haven't run the ball as well this year, they're a team that'll bully you in the front. And if the Packers, I love the fact that they fly to the ball. I love, all the velociraptors that they have out there playing defense. But the problem is, velociraptors aren't particularly heavy.
Need the Stegosaurus in there.
Yeah, exactly. And so they've got Wooden and they've got, what's his name, Devontae Wyatt. Other than that, everybody's like, 250, 260. And you saw with Carolina, and that was a team with a beat-up offensive line. If they ran the ball, all due respect to, what's his name, their running back that they got from Dallas. But, I mean, he had a great game, but they were killing the Packers on the inside. All right, fellas, here's my thoughts.
Here we go.
And you know how I feel about wide receivers. Trade deadline, I would have had Matthew Golden in my office, and I would have said, "Listen, kid, are you going to keep being a pain in the ass?"
No.
And if he would have said anything but no, I would have said, "Okay, enjoy playing for the Jets." That's crap. I don't care how fast the kid runs a 40. He hasn't done jack in the NFL yet.
It's been 2 months, Big Jim.
He hasn't done a damn thing in the NFL yet, and he doesn't. None of those idiots deserve to come out and be these guys. That's crap. That's not how you win football games. What I would do, I would point to the Dallas Cowboys, and I would point to the Cincinnati Bengals. And you say, you know what those are? Those are 500 football teams because they pay their wide receivers too much money, and their wide receivers are a pain in the ass, and their wide receivers dictate what they're going to run on offense. And if you're going to be that guy, you're not going to be here. Real simple.
Are you more upset with the lack of production or the speculation that he might not be happy? Because all I know at this point is he doesn't have an Instagram account anymore. That could be a variety of things, but he hasn't. I'm just going to put the big J cap on here. He hasn't come out and said, I need more targets from my guy Jordan. Maybe he feels that way, though.
You know what? How many other B guys do they have on that team?
It's a good point.
I get it. They didn't win the Super Bowl. Maybe they need a few more me guys. Listen to these bloody idiots that are out there saying that they should get rid of LaFleur. Dumbasses. They shouldn't be able to drive. They should live in a conservatorship like Britney Spears.
Okay, so to recap, I want to make sure I've got this right. So Matthew Golden, bring in a defensive tackle, and then you're not allowed to drive if Coach LaFleur needs to be out in your mind.
Right.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was on pace with these three.
It's a strong take.
That pretty much sums it up. Keep it average, boys.
Big Jim, our man.
Good stuff. I was not expecting to wrap it there. Yeah, so the first thing I did look up when he mentioned the interior, the run defense in general, is how's Kenny Clark doing? Because by no stretch of the imagination did the Packers lose this trade by going out and getting Micah Parsons. However, that is the vacancy that you have right now. Devontae Wyatt nor here nor there. But going into the matchup, the other thing I looked at was what you brought up, yards per carry allowed. Even after that atrocious performance against Rico Dowdle, it still reads 4.0. And I have to ask, if you're going to go out and get anybody worth a damn on the interior defensive line, you're giving up picks that you don't have. They don't have their next 2 first-rounders. And again, I still think that's worth it. But now you're really starting to look ahead. With someone like Goody who values the draft as much as he does, imagine the years going forward where, okay, you don't have your first-rounder. You also don't have your 4th and your 6th. Or if you're to splash for someone like Quinnen Williams, you don't have your next 3 firsts now. That's just not the way the Green Bay Packers operate. Not that I'm saying I'm not saying they don't need more help on the interior. I think that is a issue that's starting to surface more and more as the Packers are going to play really good teams, like the Eagles coming up. That's going to be a really good test. But that is not how they operate, given what they would have to give up to get someone who's worth a damn inside.
Well, and it's simply put, the way that the market works at the trade deadline in the NFL is you have to overpay if you're going to be acquiring people. Yeah. And we saw it even today. Quinnen Williams is a former All-Pro. I mean, he's fantastic, but you gave up a 1st and a 2nd for him. If you're even going out to get an average defensive lineman, it's a day 2 pick.
Yep.
And simply put, you don't have a day 1 next year.
You're going to have 1 in the first 3 rounds. That's
maybe.
I can't imagine the Packers doing that.
Especially the way Goody operates with what in his history. I mean, even the idea of them giving up a day 3 pick for a corner, that's out of character.
Yeah.
So to go day 2 with the defensive lineman, I think if anything, they're going to shore it up in free agency in the offseason, and they're just going to live with what they have. They're trusting the numbers that they see right now. And yeah, Rico Dowdle and the Panthers, they got the better of them on Sunday, but I think they're trusting it. That was a mirage, and you're going to find out if we're right or if Big Jim's right, I think, on Monday, because the Eagles are coming to town, and even in an off year, that's going to be one of the most formidable offensive lines you play. And Saquon Barkley, even in his worst year of his career, is still Saquon Barkley.
He's questionable. He's got the extra day of rest, and he's coming off of a bye week, so I think he'll be good to go. But yeah, the drop-off in production, and I don't think that's a coincidence either. We've talked about the tread on the tires argument with Josh Jacobs. Saquon Barkley has had over 300 rushes once in his career. It was last year. He had 345 touches on the ground, and he's gone from 5.8 yards a carry to 4.1. If you want to argue the offensive line isn't doing that good, just look at how successful the tush-push continues to be. So we'll see. We'll see. I am glad that you let Big Jim go first, but back to the original question, who on the offense needs to step up in Tucker Kraft's absence? If you want it to be a tight end, you can be. But in terms of just replacing his productivity, and again, you can call in 920-887-9595. Who needs to step up for him, Wally?
My tandem pick was Christian Watson and Matthew Golden because they are so similar in what they do, and you're going to need somebody that is going to step up in the red zone. We know Romeo Doubs is going to be looked at there. For the record, somebody needs to let Romeo Doubs know that Tucker Kraft is okay, that he will be alive.
So that was wild. I didn't have time to grab audio for it, but if you want to share what our boy Romeo said about Tucker Kraft following the MRI result, that would be awesome.
Tucker is in a better place.
Yeah.
He's okay. I promise. Romeo, you got to believe me. He's okay.
So
the knee's a long way from the heart.
There are at least 2 different ways that is wrong. 1, yeah, he's alive. 2, Mark Tauscher has torn his ACL before. Weekdays from 9 to 12, he's on Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Beaver Dam, and he brought it up this morning in Madison. The next 2 to 3 days after you get that result and get told, hey, it's a long road to recovery, but no football for the rest of the season. He said those are some of the darkest days that he's ever experienced. So I can't imagine Romeo saying that either. I'm trying to assume that he meant Tucker Kraft is in better spirits than he was after the moment that his ACL tore.
And he's going to be okay. I think that maybe was what he's trying to get to.
That could have been worded way better.
Yeah, so Romeo was, he seemed, again, like heartbroken.
Yeah.
Which he should be.
Words matter.
But yeah, so he will be okay. Tucker Kraft is going to be all right. But we expect that not only Romeo Doubs to get more of the target there in the red zone, you need Christian Watson and Matthew Golden to make a difference. And Christian Watson's looked really good in his first 2 weeks back. I think a lot quicker to hit the ground running than at least I personally expected him to be. We need that out of Matthew Golden now. We need that first-round wide receiver to be the first-round wide receiver. I'm not trying to put too much unfair expectations on the kid, but he's got to be able to go out there when you need a big play on 3rd and 8 to get open, find a way to extend drives. And if they're able to keep doing that, they're going to keep winning football games. It's not the offense. Really, I mean, you can point to specific instances on both sides of the ball. At large, they're both playing good enough at this point. You just got to hope that the offense is able to continue to click once you do have what your number one target in Tucker Kraft. He's not there. He's not walking through that door the rest of the year.
No, I like the pick of choosing the burners because using Christian Watson and Matthew Golden implies you'll be taking more shots down the field. And to take a page out of Ben Brust's book, who's on Kyle Brust and Norman weekdays from 2 to 4 on ESPN Beaver Dam, he said from a play calling perspective, he is tired of seeing, and I quote, this sideline to sideline crap. He's referring to the bubble screens and the jet sweeps and the throws behind the line of scrimmage when you have explosive pieces like Christian Watson and Matthew Golden. I hope that's an adjustment they make, not only because they don't have Tucker Kraft anymore on some of those more short cutoff route combinations, but because that's the strategy they went with against the Panthers, and it did not lead to a whole lot of converting in the red zone. It led to a 16-13 loss against a team that you were 2 touchdown favorites over. My pick is going to be Josh Jacobs. This was a run-heavy team before Tucker Kraft went down. Green Bay runs the ball currently almost 47% of the time. That's the 9th highest mark in the NFL, and they were actually one of those 3 teams last year that ran the ball more than they threw it, along with Philly and Baltimore. That was with their best pass catcher in Tucker Kraft, healthy and flying around the field. They were still running it more than 80%, about 75-80% of teams in the NFL. Now for a team that's still in search of its wide receiver one, and I hope they find it, and no longer has its best pass catcher and tight end in Tucker Kraft, I think running the football is going to be critical. This is also a team that is expecting to win double-digit games, hopefully more than 10, hopefully in that 11, 12, 13 range if you want to win the North, specifically in those 6 divisional games. You have to run the football well. When you're up a possession in the 4th quarter, you need to be in a position to bleed the clock, hold possession, and take the ball out of the opposing offense's hands. And the only way you're going to effectively do that is when that team knows you're running the ball and you can still do it with success. So a lot of pressure on Josh Jacobs, but that also comes with the offensive line setting him up for success.
Well, and last week was encouraging, at least from the sense that that was the best he's run the ball this year.
He looked very good compared to, weeks past.
The only other game that he had a higher yards per carry was against the Bengals, and I know it's kind of tired the way we always joke about it, but the Bengals defense is so bad. Yep. Genuinely like the worst in football, and it's not close. And so to be able to go out there last week, and it felt like run the ball when you needed to run the ball, we hadn't seen that this year. If Josh Jacobs is doing what he did against Carolina, the offense is going to be fine. I'm not worried about it. It's just a matter of, at this point, string it together, both sides of the offense, passing and running. Can we get a complete game? Because we haven't seen one to this point.
100% agree, and you bring up the Bengals. I just got curious. It's like, what could they have done at the deadline? Did they go after someone on defense? Of course not. They traded away veteran linebacker Logan Wilson to the Cowboys.
Yep.
So they got rid of someone on defense.
And when that was the guy that, if you look back at the 2021 Super Bowl run they had, he was the heart and soul of the defense, and he got benched earlier this year. Whether or not that's the right decision, I guess we're going to find out.
Yeah.
But it's certainly not going to make the defense any better moving off of a guy like that.
We shall see. Hopefully the backup steps up and does well. All right, when we come back, should the Badgers play Carter Smith? That's a true freshman quarterback who could play the rest of the season without burning his red shirt, without utilizing one of his 4 years of NCAA Division I eligibility. We answer that question along with a word from former head coach and AD Barry Alvarez next. This is the Damn Sports Show on 1430 ESPN and Daily Dodge TV.
This is Kristen DeMaster, head girls swimming coach, Beaver Dam High School. You're listening to 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam.
Your Daily Dodge News on ESPN Beaver Dam is brought to you by Prairie Ridge Health, dedicated to keeping our community healthy with compassionate, quality care close to home. Learn more at prairieridge.health.
From the Daily Dodge News Center, I'm Terry Bell. Opponents of the AI Data Center in Beaver Dam are giving the Common Council a piece of their minds. An overflow crowd packed council chambers for an informal public hearing last night. They say the sprawling complex will do a lot more harm than good. Anyone who wants to represent District 6 on the Beaver Dam Common Council still has time to come forward. Last night, the council voted against keeping the seat vacant. The Trump administration will use contingency funds to partially pay for federal food benefits this month. Even so, officials expect delays in funding Wisconsin's food share program. A woman is dead after a fire near Lomira last weekend. It happened in an apartment in a building on County Road Y late Saturday night. And Wisconsin School Superintendent Jill Underly testifies before a state Senate committee today about sexual misconduct in Wisconsin public schools. From the Daily Dodge News Center, I'm Terry Bell.
That's your Daily Dodge News Update presented by Prairie Ridge Health, where neighbors help neighbors live healthier lives. Visit prairieridge.health for more.
Wisconsin football's 2025 season is almost over. Just 2 chances left to be at Camp Randall for Big Ten football. Don't miss the Badgers' matchups with Washington and Illinois and the traditions that make game day unforgettable. Jump around the 5th quarter and memories that can only be made in Madison. Tickets are going fast. Lock in your seats now at uwbadgers.com or by calling 1-800-GO-BADGERS.
It's another great week to save at the market at Beaver Dam. Pick up boneless, skinless chicken breasts, just $3.99 a pound in family packs. Angus Pride boneless beef chuck roast, only $6.99 a pound. Select Pepsi 6-packs, 4 for $12. Treat yourself with Granny's Bakery Fresh Cinnamon Rolls, 4 for $4.99. Granny's Homemade Chili for $3.99 a pound. And Little Potato Company potatoes, 2 for $5. Don't miss the holiday open house, this Saturday only. Shop the market at Beaver Dam.
Looking for a new doctor? Prairie Ridge Health's family medicine team is welcoming new patients in Beaver Dam, Columbus, Marshall, and Sun Prairie. From wellness checks to managing chronic conditions, we are here to care for you at every age and every stage of life. Meet our providers and schedule an appointment at prairieridge.health or call 920-623-1200. Prairie Ridge Health, inspired by you.
Are you tired of battling a damp, musty basement? Air Care in Beaver Dam has a solution for you. The April Air Dehumidifier will significantly improve the air quality in your basement by removing up to 100 pints of moisture per day. That's 12.5 gallons. The April Air Dehumidifier is quiet, energy efficient, and backed by an impressive 5-year replacement warranty. If you want a crisp, dry lower level for more living space or storage, call Air Care at 920-356-8860. Big enough to serve you and small enough to care.
Whether it's the Golden Beavers, the Rockets, or the Warriors, the Dam Sports Show talks about your favorite local teams on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. And it's presented by Real Sports Cards in Waupun.
All right, it's Badgers talk time, which means Jump Around's playing, and we might actually get our first ever double call from Big Jim, because if there's ever a way to summon him, it is talking about the Wisconsin Badgers football team. But first, feel the warmth of the holiday season at the United Methodist Church Holiday Craft Fair. It is this upcoming Saturday, November 8th, from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. on 127 East Oak Grove Street, right over in Juneau. You can shop a variety of handmade treasures, Christmas decor, scarves, mittens, hats, table runners, ornaments, blankets, stocking stuffers, and so much more. Don't forget to stop at a bake sale for some delicious homemade treats. It is the Holiday Craft Fair this Saturday in Juneau. Everything is handmade and made with care, just pulling the leg of Big Jim. We do appreciate him. That was one of the more entertaining calls we've ever had on this show.
Every time he calls,
so feel free to roll that back.
You're guaranteed to have entertainment.
That was awesome.
Matthew Golden
Unpredictable,
gone,
but awesome.
No driving for Matt LaFleur doubters, and then got to bring in the defensive line.
Why is that?
Well, yeah, and I feel bad even putting the defensive line thing. It was like a slow burn from all right, I can get behind what you're getting here.
That's funny.
And then, I just had to.
He eased us in.
Yeah, I had to give Big Jim a hard time.
One of his favorite topics, along with diva wide receivers, and a team that we're passionate about here. Unfortunately, they've been going through it the last couple of seasons. There's a Wisconsin Badgers football team. They have a date with ranked Washington after their win against Illinois this upcoming Saturday. Kickoff is set for 3:30 p.m. on your home of the Badgers, 95.3 WBEV. The question, is it smart at this point to give, again, this is coming after 15 quarters without scoring a touchdown under Hunter Simmons. So I'm looking down the depth chart going, here's a 4-star recruit in Carter Smith. Is it smart at this point to give the true freshman QB in Carter Smith the keys to an offense that is in desperation mode right now? Here is what Barry Alvarez said last night.
I don't know enough about Carter Smith, whether he's ready or not. Reading all the recruiting and all that stuff when guys come in, the coaches know whether he's ready. Probably not. If he hasn't played yet, why would you throw him to the wolves right now? Let him just see what's going on, get a feel for everything, and let him go through spring practice. And you can't just do that. Throw someone to the wolves.
So that's Barry Alvarez on the Barry Alvarez Show, which you can watch live on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel every Monday night. They were doing the bye-week edition, so they did ask Barry, and selfishly, that was my question. So he answered it, which was very nice of Jesse to ask him. But so I hear him, and the reason that I'm going to disagree here is this is a low-leverage environment, and you can let us know as well, 920-887-9595 for Carter Smith. I agree, right? He hasn't played yet. He has not been on the two deep this season. So he's probably not ready to completely jump in and take over an offense. But is Hunter Simmons ready? No. And we continue to throw him out there over Danny O'Neal, who's been hurt and wasn't playing too well, and Billy Edwards Jr., who is likely shut down for the rest of the season. They just shut down their starting running back in Dylan Jones for the rest of 2025. Just 2025. We're not playing in a bowl game. Unless we run the table.
You're probably right.
Awesome. Point being, I am not sure where Carter Smith, the true freshman quarterback, is at currently. But through 9 weeks, including the bye, he has to have learned something. I don't care if it's the most scaled-down playbook ever. He is a 4-star recruit, and the worst thing that happens from a performance perspective is he looks lost at times. We already do on offense. The Badgers go 0-4. It was probably going to happen anyway. And we finished 2-10 against this gauntlet of a schedule. That was likely going to happen no matter who on this team you put out there. If this kid is the future and you genuinely believe that at some point, I think the only harm in putting Carter Smith out there, outside of him now that he can't burn a year of eligibility with under 5 games to go, the only harm of putting him out there is he kicks ass and he's really good and another school calls him and goes, hey, how would you like to play over here for $1 million or $1.5 million, right? So Wisconsin's not contending. The expectation is to literally just keep it competitive and put some good football on tape. I understand he may not be ready, but I don't think our quarterback for the last 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks has been ready anyway. This kid's just younger.
It's at this point, if you don't start Carter Smith, I think it's damning on the coaching staff.
Just give him a shot.
You're staring 2-10 square in the face right now. The worst season that Wisconsin's had in probably close to 3 or 4 decades. And if he's not losing the eligibility, the only way this makes sense not to play him if he's woefully unprepared. And if that's the case, where can the confidence be in a coaching staff that at this point, this offense is averaging 5.4 points per game in the Big Ten? As Ron Burgundy would say, I'm not even mad. That's amazing.
Can't get worse. So if the argument is, I don't know if he's ready to go out there and run this offense, our offense hasn't been ready this whole season. They haven't been ready since the MTSU game.
Any of them?
No.
And even in the MTSU game, well, it was all right. Well, it was awful for a half.
We were losing.
They were losing for a half. The offense has been bad all year. There's no way around it. It's been bad for the last 2 years. You go back to Phil Longo. Longo took a ton of heat last year. It's not gotten better. It has gotten worse. And if you don't play Carter Smith, I mean, I think it's sending a message to the entire team that you are not even pretending to be competitive the rest of the season, and you are going to run more people out of that building than just Carter Smith if he's not playing this week.
And if you're worried about him not having a great game, run the ball the majority of the time. That's what this whole offense has been built on anyway. If he throws the ball 15 times, oh, Corey, how are they going to keep up with? They're not keeping up with any of these teams. It's Washington, Indiana, Illinois, and Minnesota. They're not. The standard is not to keep up with these teams at this point. That is not a fair expectation. If they do, I would be so happily shocked. Get Paul Bunyan's axe back, and I forgive some of what has happened this season. But if you're worried about him going out there and not being competitive, They haven't been competitive anyway.
They haven't?
No, they were competitive 2 weeks ago against Oregon, and the offense had nothing to do with it.
And it had a monsoon in its back pocket to help you out, too.
Yeah.
You took so much of the sting out of that offense in Oregon away. Otherwise, you're talking about a game that would have been even more lopsided, because in that one even, it was a 3-score game. They scored a touchdown to make it 21-7.
Yeah.
And we were doing like victory laps.
And their backup QB was in.
And their backup quarterback was in. It was the first time they scored in, what was it? It was like 14 or 15 quarters at that point. This is so dark. It's so bleak. You have to give people, hope. And going out there, and even if Carter Smith goes out and he throws 2 interceptions and looks like a freshman in his first start, that's okay.
Hunter Simmons started the Oregon game 1 for 13. When I say Carter Smith could literally not do anything under the sun to make most fans more pessimistic, I mean it, because at least he has the excuse of being young. Hunter Simmons is not going to be a college football quarterback after this or next year.
Yeah, and if you don't start him this week, you were saying that you're not starting him against Indiana.
That is throwing him into the literal – Washington's a really good football team. Throwing him into a top 2 football team in college football right now, no.
That's the Wolves that Barry Alvarez is referring to.
That's fair.
Washington, it's a good team. It's a ranked team. Yeah. But the defense leaves a lot to be desired. You can at least in theory be a competitive football team if you give this team a shot in the arm with a guy like Carter Smith. I think that you were on this 2 weeks ago, and it has to happen. Yeah. You have to have Carter Smith. If it's not now, it won't be Indiana. You're going to get the last 2 weeks of the year. And if that doesn't happen, I don't understand what's going on. You see freshmen start all over the country.
Malik Washington is starting for Maryland right now. He's doing just fine. And again, it's not apples to apples, right? Every single program is handling things differently. They have different weapons at their disposal. A lot of freshman quarterbacks who are able to go out there right now have the right supporting cast. I don't know if Carter Smith would have that, but it's a run-oriented offense. It's a defense that's actually held its own in certain capacities, and the standard is literally to go out there and be competitive. He is not fighting to get this team in the Big Ten championship. So if you're worried about pressure getting to his head, there could not be less right now.
It's like we're not asking this guy to make a 10-course meal. No. We're asking him to put out a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in a bag of Doritos. Yeah. It simplify the offense. If you do that, you're going to at least have fun. Like, give us a reason to be entertained watching the second half of this football game this week.
Before we kick it to break and come back with Phil in the damn blank, one of the other questions on the Ask Barry segment last night was why should fans feel inclined to renew their season ticket memberships? I don't know if they genuinely have a reason right now, so put the 4-star out there and give us some hope.
Give hope.
Yeah. Right now, I cannot find, other than the freshmen and Catalano and Posa on defense who are running around right now, which we don't even know what this coaching staff's going to look like going forward, so hopefully they're getting those reps, and same with NIL. Maybe guys jump them in the depth chart. Other than that, and I'm really grasping at straws here, I cannot pick something out on this football team that has me excited for next season. So give me Carter Smith.
It's amazing. Travis Wilson had a tweet earlier today, and it goes into what we've talked about this last month. There are 4 in-state recruits that are committed to Minnesota. There are 2 in-state recruits that are committed to Indiana. There are 1 in-state recruit that is committed to the University of Wisconsin-Madison.
Yeah.
1.
Yeah, you also have to put out a decent product for in-state recruits and reach out to them. That helps too, in order for them to feel inclined to come to the university. So please put the 4-star out there. Please, 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 please. We could lose by 30, and I'd be happy as a clam if we just put Carter Smith out there and let him get some free, low-leverage, non-eligibility burning reps. All I ask. When we come back, it's Phil in the damn blank here on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam and Daily Dodge TV.
Here's a look at your weatherology forecast. Cloudy skies expected tonight with lows around 43. Winds out of the south, 8 to 15 miles per hour. Highs around 55 tomorrow. Ample sunshine expected. Mainly clear tomorrow night, 28. Low 50s Thursday, mid 50s Friday with a slight chance of rain. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. Right now, 52.
Keep up to date with all the latest going on in high school athletics across the region by heading to the sports.
Your fantasy roster is set. The smack talk is heating up, and this season, ESPN Bet is giving you more ways to ride with your squad. Introducing the ESPN Bet Fan Center, where you can instantly link and bet on your fantasy teams right in the ESPN Bet app. An enhanced sports betting experience only from ESPN Bet, the sports book for sports fans. Make the connection today with ESPN Bet Fan Center and the ESPN Fantasy app. ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Rates may vary. Bill monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
Anger towards your noisy, faulty furnace should not be the only thing keeping you hot this winter.
I'm tired of this.
If your furnace can't keep up, call JB Mechanical. They'll clean and repair and keep you warm all winter. So if your self-furnace inspections sound like this...
Okay, turn it on. What the... Oh my...
Then don't suffer through another noisy night. Take advantage of JB Mechanical's fast, friendly, professional service and get your furnace running today. Visit jbmechllc.com, a proud Train dealer.
Oh wow, they're out. A triple play. Did you see that relay race?
Wally, are you just saying random sports terms? This is a football game.
I'll be honest, Sherry, I've been running on empty. My pantry's looking like a bye week. A Wally with no snack is just not a Wally at all.
Cheer up. You just need to get over to Fox Brothers Piggly Wiggly in Beaver Dam and Mayville. Score big this fall with game day snacks, beverages, meats, and more. Stock up in store and check out weekly deals online at foxbrospiglywiggly.com. Make every game day a touchdown.
Hey, it's Stacy with Slumberland, Beaver Dam in Watertown. Our mega sale's going on, and you can save so much money on Sealy mattresses. Did you know nobody sells Sealy for less than us? Check out our wintergreen mattress, medium, for only $399. You can also take a look at our new Dallas Medium Tight Top, the all-new Sealy Posturepedic line for as little as $599, or pick your comfort for as little as $999. Choose any queen size, ultra firm, medium tight top, or medium hybrid, or soft pillow top. Pick your comfort with our Hagerstown mattresses for as little as $999. Get $300 bonus cash when you buy the Purple Restore mattress, or save up to $800 off select adjustable mattresses with Stearns & Foster's, Sealy Posturepedic, and Tempur-Pedic with no interest financing for up to 36 months with $19.99 or more minimum purchase. Check out our mega sale going on right now with all of our mattress savings at Slumberland Furniture, Beaver Dam, and Watertown.
Adopting a teen was more fulfilling and rewarding than we ever thought it would be. We just kind of knew from the beginning that we were family.
Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Stay tuned to the Damn Sports Show, brought to you by Real Sports Cards in Waupun. Get the inside look at Beaver Dam High School athletics, weekdays at 4 on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam.
Come and meet our wonderful general manager, Sherry Sackett from the WBEV Morning Show, and Holly from Memory Making Travel to learn more about the amazing Irish Splendor getaway trip next fall. So while Wade is on his way back from Tuscany, we're already planning another trip just under a year from now. It'll be from October 16th until October 23rd of 2026. The meet and greet scheduled for this trip is at the Riverfront Wine Bar at 227 Front Street in Beaver Dam on Tuesday, November 11th at 6 p.m. So a week from today, just about an hour out. Make your plans for that. If you would like more information, we will reveal more information as that trip gets closer as well. This is Fill in the Damn Blank, a quick version of it. The best team in the NFL, Wally, is blank.
The team that's not going to win the Super Bowl, the Eagles and the Chiefs are inevitable. And until it happens, somebody else, I'm saying one of them.
Yeah, it's probably the Bills. There's like 5 two-loss teams now. Josh Allen's putting together a really good season. They just beat the Chiefs in the regular season, so everything is lining up for an AFC Championship meeting where Patrick Mahomes gets out of that end of the playoffs again. The worst team in the NFC North is blank.
The Vikings.
Even after the win.
It's just a loaded division. Yeah. It's a loaded division, and I think that the other 3 are playoff teams. Can't say that for Minnesota.
I think the Bears, there's an interesting case with them. They've had one of the league's easier schedules now that everything's diced out through 8 games, 9 games. But I do believe the Vikings are that 8-9, 10-7 team at the bottom of the division. That's going to do it for us today. This is the Damn Sports Show. Homer Hours coming up next on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam.
This Sports Center update is brought to you by Watertown Regional Medical Center. Be well, live well. That's why they're here. Visit watertownregional.com for a list of services.
I'm Corey Sparks with your Daily Dodge Sports Center. The Green Bay